None of the three of you has been contacted by the John Doe, right?
Nope. If we were, we couldn't tell you.
Oh, that's right.
That's true, yeah.
I know, but now I know you haven't.
No, you don't know that. I just said
you
it, yeah.
didn't.
I may have been.
Do you guys have any thoughts about this John Doe investigation?
It's a possibility.
I said, do you have any thoughts about the John Doe investigation?
I don't even know
Obviously,
that guy.
we don't know we don't know everything that's going on, but a number of people have been stating opinions. What do you think of what's going on?
Well, I have always believed as much as possible in the independence of the judiciary, right? They are the branch that's supposed to help to make sure that the other two branches treat the public and each other fairly, right? So the frustration that I have is we saw during the first election of Governor Walker that people did some things wrong. They were prosecuted and they deserved to be in jail, no doubt whatsoever. But some people believed that they were using the judiciary, or perhaps the DA was, to achieve a dual purpose, which was to prosecute the wrongdoers, but also try to cast a smear on somebody who's running for statewide office. I give the credit to say that that didn't happen. They did the right thing and it's over. Well, here we are again, entering into another election cycle, where it seems like people are only going after half of the equation. They are, and once again, only from your news reporting, I have no other sources, but it seems to be what Jason and Patrick have reported, to be that they are going after conservatives, conservative groups, and Republicans in general. Well, we know the recall was pretty contentious, and I'm not going to say, that it wasn't a hard time for Wisconsin, but I think that if you're trying to legitimize the process to only go after people on one side of the political spectrum, which is in some ways a repeat of what happened years earlier, demeans the judiciary, and I think it potentially demeans the process of having John Does where people believe they're politically motivated. I don't know that they are. I don't know that they won't find wrongdoing. But it certainly seems to me that it's hard for me to understand how, if they believe wrongdoing occurred on one side, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, that you wouldn't investigate or at least say, we're going to cast a wide net to have credibility accrue to the entire process.
Especially when they're casting as wide a net as they are. I mean,
Right.
pretty much asking for any, communications, and I mean, it's very much has a perception of being.
Don't you sort of go where the evidence leads you? I mean, is it possible there is nothing on the other side?
Yeah, but it's easy to find some wrongdoing in any circumstance, but if you only look in one direction, you're certainly not going to find any on the other side. So with the opportunity for all these outside groups that came from throughout the country to help with the recalls on the Democratic side, I mean, I can't believe that there wasn't some kind of coordination with the unions when all of a sudden buses showed up and they took over floors of hotels around Madison, and then recalls were launched and petitions were driven. I mean, all these things. To say that it only occurred on one side of the aisle, and whether or not it did, once again, I don't know.
So-
Leads me to believe I can't understand why they wouldn't look at both.
So I'm not sure what you're asking, what you're suggesting. Are you suggesting that this is a witch hunt and they should shut down the John Doe, or that it should be broader and you want a bigger John Doe so it covers both the Democratic and Republican groups?
Well, both are accurate in some ways. I think that it seems to me in the process that they are going through, it is more in the witch hunt category than it is in the fact-finding mission. I think that's sad. Do I wish that they would have launched an independent investigation that focused on whatever they had, regardless of party? Perhaps we'll find out they did that. I don't know, because we don't know the details.
Well, we do know that they've appointed right now an independent prosecutor, Fran Schmitz. Does that help or hurt, or does it not matter?
Once again, it's the judiciary. They have to operate to be held accountable. I only know what I read in your newspaper, so it's hard for me to try to make any judgment other than the fact that it seems like it's targeted on one side of the political spectrum.
Right.
It seems like if they are looking for some sort of collusion, that both sides either did or did not do it, and I think it's unfair to the process to make it look political when they could have done it in a way that would have made it seem less political.
It sounds like, just your responses, it sounds like there's frustration, sort of investigation fatigue.
Look, everybody has a right to make sure that elected officials do the right thing, and that's obviously what you do for a living. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, to have the appearance that it's not focused on the problem and it's more about the party undermines the entire process, and I think that's bad for where we sit.